It's a great day. My name is Trey Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome everybody to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the number one business development and revenue focused late night show in the country where we're on a mission. And our mission really is to empower. Our mission really is to inspire. And our mission is to provide you, that's right, you, the hard working entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. On this episode, we have the one and only Jacquelyne. She's in the house. She'll be talking about Buy Black, leave a legacy, change your community. I can't wait to have this conversation with her. And she's actually someone I met before, so this is really even better. What's going on, Jacquelyne? How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. How are you, Shay?
Good. Thank you. Thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. And before we get started, folks will read your bio. We'll talk about how famous you are. They'll go see all the wonderful things. I'm sure they're already Googling you. But I do want to just have a question to start off if I can. And just, not going to say address the elephant in the room, but I think it's a question that's on everybody's mind to see in the topic, which is, what does it really mean to buy black in today's world? And why is that so important now, probably more than ever before?
Right, right. I would say in today's world, to buy black means to support your community. It means to invest in your local economy. It means to empower entrepreneurs, empower black entrepreneurs, and to make a difference and to make an impact.
And how does buying black help really build our communities?
Absolutely. I mean, well, if you think about the people who own and operate Black owned businesses, typically those are Black entrepreneurs. Typically, take him, okay? Or give me. Yeah, so buying Black impacts our community in a number of ways. If you just think about the typical Black owned business, whether that's a Black male or a Black woman, let's just say it's a Black woman, she could be a stay at home mom, she could be a single mom. These are when we support these women, we're putting money into their households, we're empowering them to, empower the youth that's coming behind them. They're taking the risk and also, taking the responsibility to show what ownership looks like in our community, what entrepreneurship looks like in our community. And it's not easy. And by supporting that individual, we're empowering them to, really make an impact and leave a legacy behind.
Before we get into your backstory and who you are, why why are you so passionate about buying black?
Yeah, so I, became an entrepreneur at a very young age. Around the age of 23 is when I became a legit entrepreneur. And I struggled a lot. And in the community that I was in, I looked around and noticed that everybody wasn't struggling. But people who looked like me were really struggling because we didn't have access to capital. We didn't have, you know, people who were willing to necessarily just put funds into our businesses until we were able to turn a profit. A lot of us are bootstrapping. A lot of us are, using our, money from, wherever we can pull resources from, to run our businesses and to turn a profit because we see what the future could potentially look like. But a lot of us are taking sacrifices while we're building. And when I got into the space, one of the number one things that I learned to do well was marketing. And so automatically I had other Black business owners reaching out to me, asking them to help with their marketing as well. And later on, I turned that into an advertising agency, which is currently Where to Buy Black.
Congratulations, by the way. You're doing some amazing things. Um, you served. Thank you so much for serving, by the way. How did serving in the military and being a project manager, um, how did that experience help you do what you're doing now?
Absolutely. Well, having served in the military, I joined the military at a very young age. I was 17 years old. I was put in a leadership role, before I turned 21. And then I was groomed to be a leader in the Air Force. And so, being put in those positions, being exposed to that intense leadership training, and actually being given responsibilities to, command a flight, excuse me, to lead, you know, um, a large group of people to accomplish a mission. That was my foundation. That was the entry to my career. And then when I got out of the military, I went on to work for the government. And during that time, obtained my project management professional certification, and that allowed me to lead larger projects in the government sector as a contractor. And that experience taught me how to implement systems and how to lead cross-functional teams, and how to manage large budgets. And I took all that experience and I've implemented it into my business in a number of ways. So I would say that it's definitely been the foundation. The military was a great foundation for me, and being a project manager in the government sector has allowed me to even expand on those skills and abilities, and it's really taken me very far in entrepreneurship.
Wow. And thanks for sharing, by the way. And again, thanks for serving. Thank you to viewers. Thank you for tuning in, by the way, because without you, we don't have a show. So we really appreciate you being here as well. You know, you've helped so many brands along this journey so far, and you got many more to help, I know. What is one moment of working with a brand or a company that you said, whoa, doing that is why I do what I do every day?
Absolutely. So probably that moment for me, back in 2024, I styled a fashion show for a local DMV brand called Bouquet. And it was just a really amazing experience. And I got to bring in a lot of the brands that I work with because it was a fashion show and I promote Black owned fashion and beauty brands. So able to incorporate those brands into the fashion show, and a lot of it was like a lot of project management work leading up to the fashion show, a lot of behind the scenes work, reaching out to the models, coordinating their looks, working with the bouquet team to make sure that, we were all on the same page and they were satisfied with the looks that were going to be showcased at the show. But then on the day of, it was very, very fast paced, and it was a lot of teamwork involved. And it was my first fashion show that I ever styled. I had coordinated a fashion show, but I had never styled one. And so, to see it come to fruition and to kind of like peeking from behind the scenes and just looking out at the audience reaction to the looks, to seeing the pictures come back after the show, I'm very proud of what we did and the work that we produced. And I think that will forever be one of those moments where I felt like, wow, I really, got to be a part of something great and got to put my stamp on it.
I love it, by the way. Thanks for sharing. Congratulations on all that you're doing and the difference you're making for other folks. For the Black small business owners watching right now, well, why don't we do this first? You told a little bit about your background. Why don't we step back and, you were just, I met you through Miss Corporate America pageant, by the way, and you're doing some amazing things. So, the question I want to ask, which is, who are you? What's the backstory? You kind of said it in so many little pieces, but I'm going to have her bring it all together. So, for the person who's watching right now that's in the kitchen cooking dinner and like, wow, I like what I'm hearing. Don't know who she is. I didn't read her bio, Shay. I never got a chance to check her out on Google. Or maybe you're listening in your AirPods right now or watching us on your big screen TV. How you doing? We'll slow down and we'll have Jacquelyne take a moment and tell us, who are you? What's your backstory that led you to doing what you're doing now?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'm a, millennial Black American woman. I'm a single mom. I grew up in the 90s, where like fashion was huge and we still read magazines. And I was like the girl cutting out the pictures in the magazine, putting together collages. But I struggled because I didn't see a lot of women who looked like me. And so when I came of age to produce my own um, advertising agency, I wanted to put a spotlight on women who did look like me, Black women of all different backgrounds and sizes and colors and hair textures and styles, and you know different, I would say, genres of, Black, because we make up so many different things. There's not, people want to put us in a box, but I grew up around the goth Black girl, and the around the way Black girl, and I think I'm a mixture of a lot of different things, and I think that a lot of Black women can relate to that. We're not just one monolithic, creature. So I wanted to, express us in our all of our diversity, and through my work, I'm able to do that. And so I'm grateful. I run a directory called Where to Buy Black. It's WEAR to Buy Black, because it focuses on Black owned fashion and beauty brands, what we wear. And this work allows me to help Black women to put their businesses in front of conscious consumers, who are looking for Black owned brands to support. These are vetted and verified Black owned businesses that I've personally shot with, have had great experiences with. I know that they deliver quality products and have great customer service. And so I don't put businesses on my site if I didn't have a good experience myself, because I never want anyone else to have a bad experience. But yes, if you go to wheretobuyBlack.com, you'll be able to find a number of Black owned fashion and beauty businesses to shop with. You can read articles about some of the work that I've done, whether it's a fashion show or a magazine cover. There's a lot there.
This is really exciting. As you were speaking now, I'm curious if you take a moment. Um, the question is going to be, how do you juggle it all and still find time for balance for yourself and your family? And I want you to speak to the person who's watching right now saying, Shay, she's talking about do this and she has a business. What does she say to the person like me, Shay? I'm very, very busy. I have to take care of a husband, or I got to take care of a relationship I'm in. I got to take care of my kids. My kids have a schedule, by the way. I work full time, but I'm a 9-to-5 millionaire, so I got a part time business I'm running on the side. Somebody else saying, Shay, I'm a caregiver just like you. I take care of other folks. And someone else is saying, I'm back in school, Shay. So my question is, how is she able to balance so many different balls even before you and I guess, started this particular interview? You were right there with your daughter taking care of something. So I guess the question is, how do you juggle so many things in the air and still keep your peace and your serenity? Or is that even possible?
It's definitely possible. I think it's about having strong boundaries and being intentional with your time. For instance, when I decided to do the Miss Corporate America pageant, I knew that it aligned directly with my business goals, and it was something that I was not going to be, it was not going to be a distraction. It was going to be a tool that I could use to elevate my business and already do the work that I was doing. And so I always look for ways to stay in alignment with my goals. If my in a part of my goals is to be a present and intentional mother. So that means that some days don't look like me working on my business. Some days are just me spending time, with my daughter, maybe working half of the day and then the other half of the day being present with her. And so I think you really have to decide what your priorities are. Of course, we all want to have successful businesses. We all want to generate income. But what is success if we can't pass it down to the next generation? And how do we successfully pass it down if we're not grooming that generation and spending time with them and making sure that we're prioritizing them as well? So for me, I think just being intentional and trying to make sure that, well, no matter what I'm doing, it's in alignment with my overall goals, and then also kind of having grace with myself, because sometimes I do drop the ball. I can't be everywhere at once. I can't give everything 100%. But I just do my best every day.
Wow, someone saying, Shay, this is perfect. Her life is perfect. I love it, Shay. It's a great segment, by the way, to a segment we have here called Today is My January 1st. Man, maybe her life is perfect. We're going to find out for in a moment. But for those folks who tune in every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you know what we're about to do. And you can go ahead and say those magical words. Maybe you wait every night to say those words with us. Today is my January 1st. Happy New Year to you, by the way. For all the folks who are tuning for the very first time, welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show family. Today is our January 1st is our personal mantra. It represents a fresh start. It represents a do-over. It means our past, no matter how dark and gloomy the past is, the past no longer equals the future. And so my question for Jacquelyne on the other side is really twofold. Number one, when you hear those words, today is my January 1st, what goes through your mind? And number two, was there ever a setback or challenge you had in your life, and how were you able to bounce back from it?
Absolutely. I love that today is my January 1st. I am one of those people who actually looks forward to Monday, because I feel like every Monday is a fresh start. As an entrepreneur, every Monday is a fresh start. Whatever I didn't get done last week, now I have a chance to get it done this week. And that's usually how my weeks work. So I actually really love that. Um, and a challenge that I had to overcome, I think a lot of people can relate to, COVID-19, just having to pivot. If you were an entrepreneur, if you were in business, for me, I had just started my directory and it wasn't yet niche to fashion and beauty. At that time, I was mostly promoting Black owned restaurants in Washington, D.C. And what happened during COVID is that a lot of those restaurants closed down temporarily initially and then eventually closed down permanently. And not just in DC, but in the surrounding areas, PG County, Montgomery County, Charles County, restaurants throughout the entire region shut down. And some of them did not open their doors back up. And I had to make a decision. What was I going to do with my advertising agency? Because if these businesses weren't in existence, then how am I, why, I'm not advertising them. And so I decided to move from a regional directory to a national online directory. And I decided to focus on businesses that were online. And later on, I was able to, reincorporate some of those businesses within the community. And even now today, I work with a couple local businesses in the community to host events and things like that and bring entrepreneurs together, in the community together to support entrepreneurs. But a lot of the businesses I promote now are online. And that was just a time where I just had to, it was almost like starting over, but it was worth it in the end because we are in a digital age, and we have to innovate, we have to move with the times.
Said so well, by the way. Thanks for being so authentic and so transparent with us, by the way. And, as you were speaking, at least.
It's funny you asked this, because I heard something similar on the radio earlier. I was doing laundry, and they said, "What was something somebody told you? Um, Maybe an older person told you when you were younger, and you didn't understand it, but you understand it now." And I immediately thought about my dad telling me from a very young age, just because something feels good doesn't mean that it is good. And I really didn't know what he was talking about when he said this to me, but I understood it as an adult. And I told my daughter something similar the other day because she was talking about a show that she likes to watch that I don't like her to watch. And she was singing the song, and I was like, "You like the song, huh?" She was like, "Yeah, it's a nice song." And I was telling her, just because something sounds nice doesn't mean it is. Something sounds good doesn't mean it's good. Something tastes good doesn't mean it is good. It's like we have to go beyond the surface of what we see and really, like, understand how it's affecting us, whether it's what we eat, what we listen to, who we entertain. I think there's a lot more to, what's beyond this, what's on the surface, in any situation. So we have to have discernment, and we have to dig a little deeper and learn to really see things for what they are.
Well said. What does success look like for you these days? What does it feel like?
Yeah, honestly, for me, success feels like peace. It feels like peace. It feels like stability. Feels like being able to, pay my bills, keep a roof over my head, make sure my daughter has what she needs. It's not glamorous. It's not luxury. It's the little things. I'm learning to be grateful for every little blessing that I have. As an entrepreneur, this life is unpredictable, and it's up and down. And I'm grateful for where I am right now and to be stable and to still be in business, because doing this work, I've seen a lot of people go out of business. And I'm honestly grateful just to still be here.
And what a blessing it is, indeed. What do you do for fun? Well, you're not out saving the world, saying, here's what we need to do, here's what we need to buy black. What do you do for fun? What does that look like for you these days?
Yeah, honestly, my work is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. I'm actually preparing to go cover the whammies,
Okay.
and just showcase the fashion and the beauty. So I get to get dressed up, and I get to talk to people, and I get to ask them about their inspiration behind their looks. And I don't have a whole lot of time to carve out fun. Fun is usually spontaneous. If something comes across, my phone, and I randomly have a night off from parenting, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go to this. That's might be like an event. Something dancing. I love to dance. Music, entertainment, something like that. I went to the casino with my girlfriends the other night, and that was kind of like a last minute, hey, what are you guys doing tonight? I can have a night off. So, if, fun is kind of spontaneous these days, but I do enjoy my work very much. And that's the most fun that I ever have, to be honest.
I love it. As we come down the home stretch, two-part question. Number one, what type of clients is your firm looking to work with these days? That's important. And number two, how can folks connect with you if they're listening? Is there a website? Is there a social media handle? Like, where should they go to connect with you so they can stay in this conversation well over and beyond today?
Absolutely. So I am looking to connect with Black-owned fashion and beauty and lifestyle brands, who are looking for consistent marketing, to be listed on a directory that constantly generates traffic on a daily basis, to be promoted through social media and email weekly. Um, Businesses that are, having success, making sales, but want to, make sure that they have a consistent online presence. And maybe they don't necessarily have the time to put into that these days. They know they need to, consistently show up on social media. They know they need to be getting their products out via email, but they just don't have the time, and they don't have the budget to hire somebody full time. You can sign up at where2buyblack.com. That's WEAR 2buyblack.com/advertise. And you can see our advertising packages. They come with a 30-day free trial. So it's a risk-free 30 days where you can see how it benefits your business. And if you want to continue to use the service, that's up to you. Anybody who's looking to connect, to learn more about what it is that I do, looking to maybe have me out at an event, or speaking engagement, anything like that, you can connect with me on Instagram at Asada's Mom. That's ASSATASMOM. So Asada's Mom, or Where to Buy Black, WEAR to Buy Black. Both of those are different Instagram pages that I manage and I'm very active on. So if you DM me, I'll likely get back to you within a couple hours or so.
Well, let me say two things. Number one, thank you so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. Love what you're doing. You have a heart to give and a heart to serve. Can't wait to connect with you again soon. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Shay. This was wonderful.
And thank you to viewers. Thank you for tuning in, by the way, because without you, we don't have a show. So I never get tired of reminding you every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, no matter what's going on in your life, by the way, whether you're doing really, really well and there's that next level of success, whatever that looks like for you, or you've been hit with the punch that you never saw coming. The one thing I do believe is that today is your January 1st. And because of just that one reason alone, I believe your best is still yet to come. Your best is yet to come. Your best is yet to come. With that being said, my name is Jay Brown. I'm out. Peace. Thank you so much, Jacquelyne. We'll see y'all all on the other side. Goodbye.